20, in college in Oregon. Saved about $3,000 for a gap year, and finally booked a solo trip to see the pyramids. Because why not? I landed in Cairo at night, reached a Zamalek hostel around 1 a.m. The desk girl spoke English, and the place felt normal. A man in the lobby, maybe 40, stared at me too long when I paid, and later smiled when I passed. I shrugged it off as me standing out. The next morning, I walked to find breakfast and got talked to by a guy around 25 who said his name was Ahmed, worked as a guide and could take me to Giza for $50, cheaper than agencies. He showed photos, knew history, and sounded legit. I gave him my number to confirm the next day. Dumb, I know. Back at the hostel, the older man was again in the lobby reading a paper, and he nodded at me. That night, Ahmed texted, "Perfect. I pick you up at 8 a.m. near your hotel. Wear comfortable shoes and bring water." Around 2 a.m., I heard two men speaking softly under my door in Arabic. One sounded like the man in the lobby. Reception later said there's no night guard, and the hostel locks at midnight, which made me uneasy, but I fell back asleep. Ahmed arrived in a white minivan at 8, gave me water and pastry for energy, and we drove toward Giza with AC and history talk. He turned off the main road claiming a shortcut tour buses don't use, and the lane narrowed with desert on both sides. My phone lost signal and he said, "No worry, I know way," and I felt stupid for being alone in a stranger's car. We arrived at a quieter section of Giza, not the tourist side, and Ahmed said, "Special entrance, my friend works here." It felt incredible at first, narrow corridors and old stone, until Ahmed offered a secret chamber and led me down a tighter passage with only his light. In that cramped dark, my backpack felt lighter. My phone was gone. "Maybe you dropped it outside," he said, but his voice had changed, and the friend who greeted us at the gate vanished. Ahmed drove away from the direction we'd come, and when I questioned him, he said, "Police station first, then fix problem." After a while, we stopped at a rundown building with boarded windows and men smoking outside. No signs. I told him that's not a police station. He said, "Police station closed today. This my cousin office." He locked the doors and blocked the handles. "Listen to me very careful," he said flatly. "You tourist girl alone in Egypt. Nobody know where you are. You do what I say. Everything will be okay." A man spoke with Ahmed, and Ahmed translated poorly that my American passport was worth good money, and $5,000 would be acceptable. They told me to go inside. The room had mattresses and a map, and on one mattress sat a young European girl with plastic ties on her wrist, head down. One man fetched a metal pipe and tapped it against the table like punctuation. "You smart girl. You understand," he said. The phone they gave me had almost no battery, like they'd timed it, and they explained how the call should go. Sound scared, say police problem, say need a lawyer, ask for a wired transfer, do not reveal location or them. They left no doubt it was a plan. This wasn't a quick mugging. It was organized. I thought of the man in the lobby, the receptionist, Ahmed's shortcut, the missing friend, everything fit. My options shrank to one playable script. Make the call sound real so money would come, and maybe I'd go home. They watched as I held the phone. One guy leaned in and said they'd find me before I could reach any town if I tried to run. My parents wouldn't answer strange numbers. They'd panic if I said police, and panicked help could make me easier to trace, so the call had to trigger immediate wiring without authorities involved. I tried to shape the words they demanded into something believable. The girl on the mattress looked up and mouthed, "Don't," a small plea. The pipe sat on the table like a period. I remembered details that mattered: reception's timing, the lobby man's stare, Ahmed's friendly, sudden coldness. It was a chain of small choices that led here, and I had to make a small choice now. I planned each line quickly. Say I'm detained. Say police. Lawyer. Amount. Say to use Western Union. Say not to call police. Say it's urgent. Try to sound natural. Squeeze in a plea. Keep it short. Breathe. Don't sob, too much crying might trigger them. Don't give location. Act like a victim who will comply. I dialed the first number I knew by heart and pressed the phone to my ear. The battery icon blinked, and the line connected, and a voice answered, and I began to speak, and I took the phone. I dialed my mom's number. My hands were shaking, but I tried to keep my voice steady. Ahmed stood right next to me, listening to every single word. Hi, Mom. It's me. Emily, how are you? How's Egypt? Her voice was so cheerful, so normal, and I was sitting in that filthy warehouse with 3 men around me, wondering if I'd ever see her again. Mom, I have a problem. A serious problem. I need money. Silence for a moment. What happened? What kind of problem? I got arrested. Well, almost. They say my visa is wrong. Paperwork problem. They need a lawyer or else deportation, and I'll get banned from coming back. The older man nodded approvingly. Ahmed raised 5 fingers. $5,000. They want $5,000. Emily, that sounds like a scam. Where are you? I'm calling the embassy. No. I cut her off too harshly. The man with the pipe stepped toward me. Don't. They said if there's official involvement, it'll get worse. Just transfer the money, please. I'll pay you back when I'm home. I heard my mom crying, and in the background, my dad asking questions. She told him something about Egypt and money. Okay, sweetheart. Okay. Where do I send it? Ahmed handed me a slip with account details. I read them slowly. Mom said she'd go to the bank in the morning. It was night back home. Money would be there in 24 hours. I love you, Mom. I love you too. Please be careful. The phone battery died. The older man snatched it away. Good girl. Tomorrow money come. You go home. But I knew they were lying. They wouldn't just let me walk away. I'd seen their faces, their base. I was a witness. They dragged me back into the mattress room. The European girl was still sitting there. Once the men left, she crawled over to me. How long you here? She whispered, accented English. Few hours. You? 6 days. I'm from Germany. They said same thing money comes. You go home. But German girl before me. She waited 2 weeks. Then they took her somewhere else. Where? I don't know. Maybe Libya. Maybe sold. Cold sank inside me. What about police? My phone dead. Your phone dead. No way to call. And this place. She pointed at the window. All desert. No houses for miles. That night I couldn't sleep. I heard them playing cards in the next room, drinking tea, laughing. One of them checked on us every hour. The German girl, her name was Lena, told me they fed her once a day. Water only sometimes. Bathroom under guard. You need escape plan, she said. Money or no money, they don't let us go. The second day, money actually arrived. Ahmed showed me a message on his phone, but instead of freedom, the leader said, problem. Police ask questions about American girl. Too dangerous now. You wait few more days. That was it. The end. They'd already been paid, and now they'd stall until they decided what to do with us. That night, Lena whispered her plan. 6 days watching them, she knew their schedule. One slept in a car outside from midnight to 4. Another dozed in a chair in the main room, but woke at any sound. The third left every evening, Came back in the morning. Bathroom window, she showed me. Very small, but maybe we fit. Problem, it goes to dessert. No road, no people, but better than stay here. On the third night we tried. Around 2 a.m., one was asleep in the car, another snoring inside. We crept to the bathroom. The window was tiny, but it could work. I went first. I squeezed through, scraped my shoulders, dropped hard into the sand. Lena pushed behind me but got stuck. She muttered curses in German, trying to twist her body out. Then the light flicked on inside. "Run," she hissed. "Run now." I heard men shouting, doors slamming. I ran into the darkness, into the desert, not looking back. I kept running until the sky turned pale. No idea where I was going, only away from that building. My legs burned, my throat was dry, but adrenaline carried me. At some point I heard engines behind me. They were out searching, but in the dark they couldn't spot a single girl running across endless sand. By sunrise I stumbled onto a small village. Mud brick houses, goats, an old man watering crops. He froze when he saw me, a filthy, torn-up foreigner appearing out of nowhere. I pointed to myself, gasped, "Help, police." He shook his head, muttering in Arabic. Then his daughter came out, maybe 30, some English. I told her quickly I'd been kidnapped, needed police. She translated to him. His whole face changed. He finally understood. They put me on a scooter, drove me miles to the nearest police station. A real one, uniforms, flags, desks. An officer spoke enough English to take my statement, but when I described the building, he frowned and said, "This area under different jurisdiction. Very difficult." The embassy sent a representative, an older American woman, strict and cold. She told me this wasn't the first case. There was an entire network targeting tourists. "You're very lucky to escape," she said flatly. "Most victims either pay multiple ransoms or disappear completely." I told them everything about Lena. The police promised a raid, but 2 days later when they checked, the warehouse was empty. Even the mattresses were gone, like nobody had ever been there. Lena was never found. That still eats at me. Maybe if I'd stayed, tried harder to pull her out, maybe both of us could have made it. Or maybe we both would have disappeared. My parents flew in the next day, took me straight home. Mom cried nonstop at the airport. Dad yelled at himself for ever letting me travel alone. The ransom money vanished. The account was fake. Funds withdrawn instantly. Now 3 months later, I'm in therapy, on meds for panic attacks. I wake at night, hearing echoes of that warehouse. On streets, I feel eyes on me, even though I know it's just paranoia. Egyptian police send occasional reports of few arrests, but the core group still at large. Ahmed never caught, probably using a new name, charming some other tourist. What I've learned: it doesn't matter how smart or careful you think you are. Against professional criminals, your chances are slim. They've perfected the routine, with contacts in hotels, transport, maybe even police. A solo traveler is an easy target. If you ever plan trips like this, share your exact itinerary with someone at home, book only official guides, never get in cars with strangers, even if they seem nice, and trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. I will never go back to Egypt. Probably won't travel alone for years. But I survived. I'm alive. And that's what counts. Lena didn't get that chance. And I'll carry her memory for the rest of my life.